Known for their independent and mysterious nature, Sigma males possess unique values that allow them to thrive in a world that often rewards conformity. While their habits may seem unusual or even intimidating to others, these very habits make Sigma men so confident and respected. They may not follow the same patterns as everyone else, but their refusal to do certain things can seem weird for some and admirable for others. So without further ado, here are 10 things Sigma males always refuse to do. 1. They never accept favors. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to go out of their way to do you a favor, even when it's unnecessary or unasked? It's as if they're intentionally trying to create a sense of obligation between you and them. For some, this may be a genuine attempt to help or show kindness. But for others, it's a manipulative tactic to keep you at their beck and call in the future. Sigma men are acutely aware of this dynamic and refuse to be caught in its trap. They value their independence above all else and know that accepting favors can often lead to feeling indebted or tied down, especially if the other person expects something in return. Unfortunately, this is the case with many favors in the world, so to keep their autonomy intact, Sigma men refuse them. But that's not to say that Sigmas are ungrateful or dismissive of kind gestures. Quite the opposite, actually. They are deeply appreciative of real generosity and know how to show their gratitude in a meaningful way. They understand there are many ways to reciprocate a favor or show appreciation without sacrificing their independence. So the next time someone tries to do you a favor, ask yourself why they're doing it. Is it out of genuine kindness, or are they trying to create a sense of obligation between you and them? And remember that it's okay to say no to a favor if it doesn't align with your values or goals. Sigma men never let the fear of appearing ungrateful keep them from doing what's best for themselves. 2. They never accept injustices silently. We've all been in situations where we witness an injustice and felt powerless to do anything about it. Maybe it's a boss treating an employee unfairly, or a friend making derogatory comments towards a group of people. It's easy to stay silent in those moments, to prioritize our own comfort over the rights and dignity of others. But Sigma men don't operate that way. They have a strong sense of justice and fairness, and understand that being complicit in wrongdoing only perpetuates it. They refuse to remain silent when they see a mistreatment, even if it means going against the crowd. They know that every action can make a difference, no matter how small. Of course, speaking out against injustice is not always easy. It can require courage, conviction, and a willingness to face uncomfortable situations. But Sigma males are willing to bear that burden because they understand the importance of standing up for what is right. On the flip side, there are times when we witness unfairness and choose to do nothing about it. We convince ourselves that it's not our problem, or that speaking out will only make the situation worse. But then we're left with a nagging feeling of regret, knowing that we could have done something but chose not to. The weight of regret is far heavier than the discomfort of confrontation. So Sigma men choose to speak out, stand up, and do what's right, even if it's not the easy path. 3. They never share personal details with acquaintances or coworkers. In today's world, it can be all too easy to overshare personal information, whether it's online or in person. We're encouraged to be open and vulnerable, to share our thoughts and feelings freely. While this can be a wonderful way to build real connections, it can also lead to problems if we're not careful. There is power in privacy, and Sigma men know this too well. Sharing personal details with acquaintances or coworkers can be a slippery slope, opening the door for potential exploitation or even harassment. Sigma males are notoriously private. They value their personal space and guard their thoughts and feelings closely, even in social settings. While they may socialize with coworkers and acquaintances, they never reveal too much about themselves. They understand that revealing too much exposes them to potential harm. Of course, this doesn't mean Sigmas are closed off or unapproachable. They value connection and empathy, just like anyone else, but also understand the importance of self-protection and privacy. So next time, consider how much information you're comfortable sharing and what the potential consequences might be. 4. They never lash out. This is really important in moments of stress or conflict, when emotions can run high and adrenaline can take over. In these moments, it's easy to lash out in anger or frustration. Sigma men resist that impulse, knowing that aggression only serves to escalate matters further and rarely solves anything. Instead, they focus on resolving the issue at hand in a respectful manner. Lashing out has consequences not just for themselves, but for those around them as well. Aggressive behavior can cause hurt feelings and damage relationships, both of which are hard to repair once broken. And this knowledge brings with it a deep respect for others, even those who may be in conflict. This allows them to communicate more effectively, even during times of tension. So how do Sigma men manage such impressive emotional control? It all starts with understanding their triggers and recognizing when emotions are about to boil over. When this happens, rather than reacting impulsively or defensively, they step back and remind themselves why acting on their rage would only make matters worse, both for themselves and those involved in the conflict. Through practice and patience, they learn how to stay calm while still asserting their own views and opinions firmly but respectfully, something that takes immense perseverance yet pays off tenfold in the end. 5. Spending extended periods surrounded by loud, talkative people. It can be easy to get dragged into situations where the noise and chaos seem inescapable. Maybe it's a crowded office environment or a bustling social event filled with loud, talkative people. It's easy to get swept up in all the excitement and forget about ourselves in the process. Sigma men care about their self-care, both mentally and physically. They know that prolonged exposure to highly stimulating environments can take a toll on our energy levels and emotions. That's why they are mindful of how much time they spend around loud or chaotic groups of people. While Sigmas don't shy away from social situations completely, they do prioritize their own needs for balance and peace, even if that means stepping away from certain activities or groups from time to time. This is essential for their well-being. Without taking a break occasionally, they run the risk of getting overwhelmed by external stimulation. Their batteries need to be recharged in order to stay focused and productive. 6. They never try to tear others down. Whether it's belittling someone, gossiping about them, or simply trying to get ahead by putting others at a disadvantage, this behavior can have devastating effects on people both emotionally and professionally. This creates a ripple effect of pain and suffering, and it's not the kind of world Sigma men want to live in. Tearing people down is a sign of insecurity, not strength. So they refuse to engage in such behavior and instead strive to empower those around them. By elevating others and showing respect for their ideas and opinions, they create an atmosphere where everyone can thrive. They are not necessarily social butterflies, but this doesn't mean they are antisocial either. They simply appreciate genuine connections over superficial ones. While their relationships may not be numerous, they are deep and meaningful. They know true strength comes from within, so they don't need to prove themselves by tearing others down. 7. They never abuse their power. Unlike alpha men who tend to overuse their power for their own benefit, Sigma men understand the real danger of misusing one's influence, from taking advantage of others to advancing their own self-interest, regardless of the cost to those around them. Sigmas understand that power should never be wielded to hurt or manipulate others. This type of negative behavior can devastate people and communities emotionally and professionally, creating an atmosphere of mistrust, fear, and insecurity. That's why Sigma men prioritize using their power for good, not just for their own benefit, but for everyone's, rather than engaging in selfish behavior or trying to gain a competitive advantage by exploiting others. While alpha men are power-hungry, Sigma men use their influence wisely and responsibly. There is a saying that goes, "Give a man power, and you can tell his true character." This couldn't be more true. 8. They never live someone else's life. In today's world, it can be easy to find ourselves trapped in a cycle of comparison and competition. We compare our lives to those we follow on social media or the lives of our peers and colleagues. We want what they have, so we strive to emulate them in hopes of achieving something similar. But attempting to live someone else's life is ultimately useless. Each person is unique and burdened with their own set of obstacles and opportunities. Living life according to someone else's blueprint will inevitably lead to unhappiness and regret. Sigma men are fiercely independent thinkers who approach each decision from their own perspective and adhere to their own values. Rather than trying to meet society's expectations or following trends for the sake of fitting in, they make decisions based on what feels right for them, even if it means going against the grain. While getting caught up in the rat race can be easy, Sigma males refuse to let anyone else dictate their lives. They prefer to blaze their own trail and live life on their own terms. Keeping up with the Joneses is a waste of time and energy, which only distracts people from what matters most, living according to their own values and taking meaningful action. 9. They never make others feel stupid. Have you ever seen someone show disrespect or belittle another person? It can be all too common in today's society. Whether it's online or in person, indirect put-downs and harsh criticism are pervasive. Speaking to someone with disrespect not only hurts the other person, but also reflects poorly on yourself. Sigma men treat everyone the same way, whether they are in a position of authority or not. Even when faced with disagreements or opposing views, they always respond calmly. While they remain firm in their beliefs, they never resort to name-calling or mockery. In a world where respect is often lacking, Sigma males stand out without even trying. Their very presence gives others a feeling of safety and security. They understand that respect is a two-way street, and what's more important than how you treat those above you is how you treat those below. 10. They refuse to settle for mediocrity. Have you ever found yourself comfortable with the current situation and that striving for more seems daunting and unnecessary? Well, this happens for many people and is where Sigma men draw the line. Complacency leads to stagnation, so they continuously challenge themselves and push boundaries to reach new heights. Life is too short to settle for the status quo. In a world where people tend to accept mediocrity as the norm, it's really hard to find someone who's willing to take risks and go the extra mile. Settling for mediocrity is a surefire way to miss out on life's greatest opportunities and experiences. Rather than playing it safe, this type of man pushes himself to explore new frontiers and break out of his comfort zone.